Alright guys, sorry about that. I had to change batteries. My batteries had went dead. Okay, this guy, yeah, no, that's a hero. But this is the second unit that I'm just not overly thrilled with. Yeah, I'll use these guys because I really don't think there's anything terrible in this whole book, which is unusual for GW. But these guys are the Executioners. Yeah, they're 12 points. They're typical heavy armor. They have Killing Blow, and they're Strength 6. These are good for taking out opponents' cavalry and etc. But with the Black Guard just sort of overshadows them. I will get a unit of these guys because I used the Strength 6 High Elves White Lions, and they took down a Stegodon last week. So yeah, I'll get them. Like I said, it's not that they're bad, it's just, God, there's so many other units that are great in the new High Elf book. I mean, sorry, Dark Elf book. So Executioners, like I said, you know, when their leadership is 8, they have a hatred just like the rest of the army, but the Killing Blow is something that scares people. Now we're going to move on to one of my favorites. Alright, yes, that's right. You recognize these guys. These are the Cold Ones. As a former Lizard Man player, I liked Cold Ones. These guys are the new plastics from GW. Incredible. One thing that's better this edition than the last is their leadership. Went up to 9. That really helps with the stupidity. Believe it or not, you guys that have played Warhammer long enough knows that there's a huge difference between Leadership 8 and Leadership 9. And these guys have a 2+ armor save, where the Lizard Men, their Cold Ones, had a 3+. I think they have a 2+ now with their new book. I haven't read the new Lizard Man book. But, you know, these guys are Strength 6 on the charge. They only have 1 attack, but, you know, Strength 6 is pretty good. And at 27 points, not bad. Then they can take a Magic Standard, so... these guys, yeah, they didn't do real well for me last night, but these are almost, to me, an auto include because of their 2+ armor save and, you know, heavy cavalry. It gives, you know, something else in the Dark Elf arsenal for your opponent to consider. Alright, continuing on with the specials. These right here, you recognize these guys as Shades. These guys are pretty awesome. Yeah, they're sort of spendy, 16 points. And, you know, they're skirmishers and the scouts. They do come with their Peter Bolt thrower, so these guys can do 2 shots. And you can give them a great weapon for 2 points, which is just insane. So that would make these guys Strength 5. And if that's not cool enough, you can actually put an assassin in this unit. So you're talking about a nasty surprise for one of your opponents. Well, these guys, these Shades, can do it. So I did not get a chance to use them in my first game. Will probably use them in the next game just to see how they go. But these guys are probably an auto-include just because you can do the Assassin Bomb or Assassin Delivery System with these guys. So I'm sure I'll be using these a lot in the future. Alright, hey, this is coming out. Amazing, you can get some, when I got something painted, you can actually get some detail instead of just that silver reflecting everything. Anyways, these right here, you guys recognize them. If you don't, I'll give you a second to think about it. Okay, time's up. These right here are probably, if not the best, they're one of the best special units in the whole game. These guys right here are the Black Guard. The Black Guard, I believe, in their previous book was a rare. These guys are now specials. What makes these guys so cool? They're 13 points, sort of cheap, but they have Warrior Elite, which basically gives them Eternal Hatred every turn. They have 2 attacks with a halberd, as you can see right here. So that makes them Strength 4. And the 2 attacks is pretty good. They have a high weapon skill, and they are stubborn. And so that right there makes them even incredibly good. Stubborn on a 9, which is their leadership. But then to add to it, they're immune to psychology. So these guys are rock solid. You will see these guys in probably every Dark Elf army that's out there because they're that good. If you're not including these, you have to kick yourself in the butt and go, why? Why am I not including these guys? Because they're just that good. That pretty much brings us to the end of the specials. There are a couple of notes that you can upgrade the unit champion for like 70 points, I think it is, and give them Koran, who's a special, not really a special character, but he's like a special unit champion. I'm sorry, he's 75 points. It'd be okay if he had 2 wounds, but he only has 1 wound. He does give him another ability, but man, 75 points for a 1 wound, toughness 3 model. I just can't see spending the points. And then talking about the executioners, they have a special guy called Toleris, I believe it is. He is 95 points. He has a couple of special abilities, but he is nowhere close to being worth 95 points. But anyways, that brings us to the conclusion of the specials. The specials I really like are the Blackguard that you see in front of you, the Cold One Knights, the Cold One Chariots, and the Shades. Those guys are rock solid, and it's hard to fit them all into 2,000 points. Alright, we're now going to move on to Alright, this right here is one of 2 specials that are in the High Elf book. It's right here is the Reaper Bolt Thrower. It's identical to the repeater bolt thrower that the High Elves use. Same point cost. Yeah, these guys have eternal hatred if they do get into close combat. That you do get 2 of these for 1 rare choice. GW was moving away from that, but for whatever reason, they put that back in this army book. So that right there, for you guys that don't know, it's a typical bolt thrower, just like any other bolt thrower in the game. It's in the main rule book, or I don't know if you can see, but there's all these other little spears. Well, it can do a multi-shot. It can do 6 shots, and I typically, unless there's some big uber creatures, that's the way I typically use these guys. At strength 4, -2 armor save, so it makes a total armor save of -3. This is a pretty good killer right here. Kills infantry really, really good. Alright, saving probably one of my most favorite units for last. This is another reason I really wanted the Dark Elves, is for this unit right here.